Alright, we are back with another video. So the things I'm going to talk about, just the intro here, I did do some additional 3D printing and modeling. So this is the Sega Team Player. Oh, hopefully that doesn't slide right off of there. This is a Sega Team Player. I have removed the 6-position switch here and then just added 3 wires. So this will allow us to toggle between like the 2-player and 4-player modes, and it ignores the other 4 possibilities, which on the Team Player basically just would have routed either A, B, C, or D as player 1, and that's all. So that's not very useful to us. But we are, as far as I can tell, good to go on this. Not 100% sure exactly where this is going to sit in the cab yet, but I'm imagining it might end up upside down. I did kind of, you can't really see them here, I guess, but there is pins that go up and through all these holes that were pre-existing. The tabs, or the pins that I made kind of broke off when I was installing this, but it does feel pretty secure. I might just add some glue in there or something, because I don't imagine this is a piece that will really have to be serviced all that much, so I think it'll be fine. What else did I do? Oh, we also have the LCD controller. Really all I did here is I just wired in a power connector. You can also still use the barrel jack. That is still connected. And I made a housing with pegs and caps for the actual controller board, and then this one just has some micro switches for controlling the menus and a few other things. So I don't know if this will need to be permanently connected. I made a housing for it just in case. But yeah, it's all nice and held together now, and this stuff is able to be serviced fairly easily. So what I would like to do today is put this in the cabinet and test it out and make sure it's all working properly, because I haven't actually tested it yet. And then in the coming days, we will probably be working on some sanding and painting and graphics application, because all of my graphics arrived. So stay tuned for that soon. Real quick too, I'll let you take a look at the Marquee, which I have already completely unpackaged. But yeah, this turned out really nice, this artwork that I designed. It is on plexi already, and it's got the nice white backing on it. Very premium looking and feeling. I'm very happy with that. And it is cut to exact size as well, so it will fit in this existing spot up here quite nicely. But we're going to put that away for now. We're not quite ready for that. I'm going to try to do kind of most of the graphics stuff all at once. So I'm going to move that, and I actually did, there's a second Marquee option included here. I didn't order that, but I am quite happy to have that as a backup or whatever. So yeah, excited to get to that. I would like to talk quickly about the button choices too. So originally I ordered 2 sets of 8, or 2 sets of 6. Originally I ordered 2 sets of 6 of these buttons here. They were all from the same Amazon listing. They're supposed to be exactly the same. I don't know how well it comes through on video. You can probably tell a little bit. The color on the top, and they light up too, so as soon as the voltage was applied and the lights came on, they look different. And what I could have done, I guess, is like, you know, 3 here, 3 here that look the same over on the far left and far right, and then the ones in the middle would be of the more similar style as well. I just didn't really love that, so I complained to Amazon, and I was like, hey, this is a super inconsistent product. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't really want a refund and replacement type deal, because I'm worried that the additional ones you send will also just be mismatched. And so I just decided I'm gonna keep them as backup, but like, I'm not gonna use those for the primary buttons at all. I did order these nice black ones that have a little bit flatter top too. And they do light up. They have like a nice clear ring around the button itself. They look a lot better. They feel a lot better. They also cost almost twice as much, but they came with much higher reviews, and I'm happy to say I'm pretty pleased with them. So these are the style of buttons we're going to use for the main controls, and possibly even the start buttons, and not this one, but everything else up here too. So we will see how that goes. We're not going to actually go ahead and install any buttons or anything until we strip the old graphics off of here and repaint and reapply the new CPO here. So we will get to that eventually, probably later this week, or maybe be seeing it in a week or two, but I did just kind of put them in here to test out the feel and the sound and everything, and this is definitely the superior button. Another thing we will be doing some point in the near future, this is one of the last things I'm going to be designing, but we do need to find a way. I decided I'm just going to mount the Genesis to this existing J panel, and I think it's going to work pretty nicely. I mean, it's going to sit, you know, 6-8 inches, no, that's not quite 8 inches, probably like 4 to 6 inches below where the control panel is. So that cartridge is going to be pretty deep in there, so I'm thinking about designing something that not only braces the motherboard, right, but it's going to raise it up just a little bit, maybe an inch or two, just so that cartridge doesn't have to go in so deep. And we will, you know, we'll be doing that sometime over the next few weeks. The problem is, though, the control panel has this plastic bottom, which I do like that it's there, generally speaking, right? Like, it's going to hide a lot of things that would otherwise be exposed. There's no wooden parts for any of this, so we will have to cut a motherboard shape and possibly a little excess out of this to make sure that that's accessible. And I did make some rough markings where the motherboard would be. We'll probably just take the rotary tool to that and see how it goes. But yes, we will be sacrificing a piece of that too at some point. So what I would like to at least attempt to do today is take off the old PCB here, which I do think may hold some value on eBay for the NBA Jam Shaq edition. I'm not going to have any use for it after this, so I'm going to grab some tools here and we're going to remove it and evaluate what we need to do next. First, let's disconnect everything. So this is just the wire that goes to the Marquee, so this is just for lighting. We have one down here. This is amplified signal for the built-in speakers, which we will be reusing in some capacity. So we'll save that for now. This is just for the Wi-Fi antenna, which won't do us any good anymore, so we will be recycling that or passing it along to a new buyer. We will figure that out. And I'm just going to begin to unscrew the housing from the back of the monitor housing here. So this is the PCB, and these screws are very short, easy to lose. So I'm going to take them out one at a time and set them on my countertop over here. Yep, well, we dropped the screw, but we have the PCB free safely. I'm gonna remove the plug that goes to the control panel and gently, hopefully, remove the LVDS plug from the monitor. This one is a little tricky. I've manipulated this one before, right, when I did the monitor swap. Aha! We got it. All right. So I will take the PCB and the control panel ribbon cable, set those off to the side, and really the only other thing we need to remove is just that antenna, and technically we don't even have to remove it. I'm just going to because I feel like it's the right thing to do. There we go. We have antenna. I bought some command strips. A lot of people on YouTube are using double-sided tape. I guess whatever works for you. I'm hoping that by using the command strips, keeps it a little bit easier to move around and work on in the future if I need to. So let me pop these open. So I'm just going to take 2 sets of them here, and I'll rip these into 2, and I'll probably put 1 on each side. So I have removed the adhesive backing from one of the strips, the one that's going to be attached to the housing here on each side, and then I did leave these little tabs exposed. These are just so that you can fully remove them if you ever need to. So that would be the same on this side. This one will always be stuck to the back of the monitor, and this one will always be stuck to the housing. It will Velcro off, but if I needed to just completely redo something, I could still remove them, which will be nice. So I think what I'm going to do first is stick it on there, which is obviously me being very confident. I hope that this works. Remove the backing here. Probably just stick it somewhere kind of centered. I think that's roughly level. Let's give it a press. And the whole cabinet's kind of sliding here, just applying this little bit of pressure. It does kind of weigh a lot, so. All right, that seems to be stuck on there pretty good. So we need to connect two things. We need to connect this power connector, which I believe will only go on one direction. So there's little teeth there, or a little raised portion. Click that into place. And then the LVDS is right here. And I believe the red wires need to go this way. I will, of course, verify that before we throw any power into here, but that looks correct to me. Looks like it's on there solid. I certainly hope so. So I'm gonna hit pause for a little bit. I'll zoom in so you can kind of see what I was doing here. So yeah, the power connector is down here, and the LVDS actual video signal is gonna come right here. All right, and then one more thing we have to hook up here. I have the actual physical controls for the monitor adapter. I'm gonna apply just a single command strip to this. Doesn't weigh much, should be fine. There is one direction I need to plug this into. I just need to take a quick look at it. Plug this in like so. Yep. Feels like it's in. For this guy, we could really just kind of stick this anywhere. I don't want to block the HDMI input, obviously, but I could probably like stick this over here. I think that'll be fine. And it's only really sticky on just this side, so I'm just going to apply some pressure here. And we should be all good with that. Okay. And from what I was able to find online, we should just be able to use the existing Arcade1Up power to test it at least. We won't be using that once it's all said and done. Alright, moment of truth, right? This should be our connector for power. Plug it in. See if it does anything. And so far, nothing. Not really all that encouraging, but so as of right now, it's still not doing anything. Which is a little suspicious. I don't know why. Everything is hooked up as properly as it can be, as far as I can tell, so it's a little weird. Well, we have power going into it. It just doesn't want to do anything. So, we'll be back. Alright, we are back 1 day later. It turns out, not only did that LVDS board I had not work, which is what I suspected, but it wasn't even the correct part anyway, which I only discovered once I kind of dug into it and contacted Amazon for the return. It is the next morning. I did buy the correct board from a different seller, and we are excited to give it a go here. So let's check it out. I will get everything hooked up, and let's get this mounted here. I did have to redesign the enclosure for it as well. It's a completely different dimension, not by a ton, but the screw posts are in different places, and just overall it needed to be redone. So hopefully this sticks in nicely, and just like before, the red portion of the LVDS cable needs to go on the left from the perspective I'm looking at it right now, at least. We will put the Model 1 Genesis up in the front just as a placeholder for testing. Hopefully everything goes well, and then if it does, I will take you around to the other side. Let's give it some power. Just making sure we have the right cord. I think the aspect ratio might be a tiny bit off, but it's playing. That's a W. I did play with the switch on the back. The monitor seems to want to stretch the image vertically and have pillar boxes on the left and right when it's in 4:3 mode. So I set it to 16:9, which this is actually a 5:4 monitor. And that seemed to work. I'm a little hesitant to mess around with the controls for the monitor too much because I did read some reviews where people said, hey, I tried to do this and now I can't see anything. So I'm a little scared to do that, but we might do that in a few seconds. So, because I do want it to look as good as possible, but so far, I mean, this is the Genesis on the arcade machine. Got another small adjustment done here. I set it to zoom mode, which does seem to have helped quite a bit. So, yeah, it's looking great, playing great. No sound yet. I did try hooking the speakers up to the audio outputs. Also, my C button on this controller is not working. Unrelated to the Genesis. This is one of the controllers I took apart, so maybe we'll try a different one here. Just try to diagnose that later. But yeah, the picture looks pretty much as good as I would expect, which is huge. I'm very glad to report that. Now that we have confirmed we've gotten the monitor working, now would probably be a good time to make some of these connections in the back a little bit more permanent. So I'm gonna take some of that stuff apart, add some hot glue where it's needed, add some command strips where things might be loose, whatever, and we'll test it one more time. I have reapplied the Marquee just to get a look at what things are looking like. There's a little bit of distortion down here. It doesn't appear on every screen, and it's probably just gonna end up being a part of it. That's a result, I'm sure, of the Hyperkin HDMI adapter I'm using, but as of right now, I'm not really willing to upgrade to anything more expensive. This serves its purpose just fine, and maybe someday, you know, this does leave room for that possibility. But yeah, everything looks great. It's super playable, resolution looks good. I'm excited about it. I'm just gonna play a little bit here. Yeah, can't wait to get the graphics applied and get the controls wired up and actually have this be more of a real thing. So I'm probably gonna do that later this week. At least start the process of doing that. So stay tuned, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun journey.